All hail.
So pardon me for the lateness of this one. It was meant to come out about a week ago, but again, real life gets in the way, your boy's been busy. So tonight's subject, the withered shell of the legacy of Hulk Hogan. So, last week on Monday Night Raw, as everybody and their dog has seen, Hulk Hogan was booed out of the building in Los Angeles. The nostalgia's gone. The cheap nostalgia is... it's no more. It just ain't there. Now, since this is America, and apparently everything everybody does, from their hair, their clothing, their choice in breakfast cereal, whether or not Rick James would tell them what the five fingers said to the face or not, whatever has to do with your politics. People can't just be people anymore. You choose Rice Bubbles, you're liberal. You choose cornflakes, you're Republican. It's fucking stupid, and to everybody else from outside of the United States, it comes across as fucking ridiculous, because it is. Nobody else in the world behaves like this. It's fucking silly, and it's only gotten worse since 2016. But as usual, we're defaulting back to politics over everything else, which is why people are trying to claim, oh nah, the reason that Terry the Orange Hobgoblin got booed is because he's a Trump supporter. No, it isn't. It's got nothing. Well, okay, maybe it's got a little bit to do with it, but a majority of it has nothing to do with Terry Bollea's personal politics. Case in point, The Undertaker got trotted out for a segment with Rhea Ripley. You notice he didn't get booed? In fact, he got a raucous freaking reaction because it's The Undertaker. Now, Mark Calloway is no saint. There are a lot of stories coming out about how he helped cause a toxic environment backstage during the 90s and on SmackDown during the early 2000s. But The Undertaker's legacy is enough that hasn't really overall been enough to dent Taker's popularity. He's still beloved because he retired recently enough. People still love the in-ring performer. And you see, the thing is, Undertaker isn't just some Donald Trump supporter. Undertaker outright had Donald Trump on his podcast. So this isn't a case of people associating with Donald Trump equals booze. I know that America needs to make everything political now, but a majority of the politics people take umbrage with Hogan is his backstage politics. There is a laundry list dating back years of the wrongs that Hulk Hogan has done by damn near everybody that has come across the man. Terry Bollea is not a good person by any stretch of the imagination. You've got people posting pictures of him giving some little black girl a kiss on the head back in the 80s. Trying to say, oh, see, he's not a racist. The guy has outright been caught on tape admitting he's a racist. His exact words were that he was racist. He said that he was racist to a point, effing N-words. His words. So the man himself has admitted he's a racist, so are you trying to argue with Hulk Hogan himself that he's a racist? I mean, make no mistake about it, Hogan was very good with children when he was the guy. That's the thing that makes him a slightly better human being than the Ultimate Warrior, because unlike Warrior, Hogan actually did genuinely care about the kids who looked up to him. Okay, cool. That's a basic kindness. But overall, Hogan is a scumbag. It's not a secret anymore. And it doesn't help that the man now is nothing more than a shallow brand. There doesn't seem to be a fucking human being left anymore in Terry Bollea, as proven by the fact he tried to trot out Andre the Giant's name and Randy Savage's name to try and suck up to the fans, as well as the disingenuous, I love you wonderful people, yay! It didn't work. It just made the crowd boo him louder because we all saw through what he was doing. Especially name-dropping Randy Savage. My God, I wish we could trade Savage for Hogan. Because the number of bad Randy Savage stories that there are out there, not many, if any. Sure, there are some as it pertains to Miss Elizabeth, but professional wrestlers can't behave around women. But a majority, like 99.9% of the stories out there about Randy Savage is that the man was an absolutely lovely, wonderful, top quality human being who looked out for his peers. Hogan being a scumbag stories, take a number. Pick a number. So many. From being a union buster and stopping wrestlers from unionizing because some of those horrible low carders that aren't making anywhere near the money Hogan is, they might start making money that's maybe a 10th of what Hogan is, rather than a 20th. Ooh, couldn't have that. Then there's doing what Savage said he did, hot dogging and grandstanding and trying to make himself look big at the expense of others. Again, take a number. There are things of outright sabotage using backstage politics, like fucking up an entire year's worth of build in one night. Hello, Starcade 1997. Nice to see ya. You've got the fact that he bent the WWF over a barrel leading up to WrestleMania 9, buggering off to Japan for a bit, insulting the WWF title, burning that bridge before he'd even dropped the belt, not even having the respect to put over Yokozuna clean on his way out of the company, making a point of not putting Bret Hart over at any point, jumping ship to WCW, making sure all his mates got jobs at the expense of the local talent, including Steve Austin there. And things really only got really bad, and his bullshit got exposed to the mainstream audience more and more once he pretty much hit the point of semi-retirement in the early 2000s. His reality show, Hogan Knows Best, kinda indicated that family life for the Hogans was fucked. Then there was the car crash his son was involved in, where Hogan was busted making a phone call to his son, where, shock horror, the racist made a bunch of racial slurs about black people. He also said that Nick's friend had the car accident coming and the brain damage he got coming because he was a negative person. Really good, wholesome Christian you are there, Terrence. Very, very charming and nice. And then, to top it off, the icing on the cake was the leaked audio wherein he called himself racist, threw out a bunch of racial slurs about his daughter's boyfriend, and then there was the whole sex tape thing with his best mate's wife. And then you look at a lot of the promos he did, a lot of the interviews he did, and even the things he continues to say and do now. There's an ample number of videos on this platform, and I'm not going to make another one to add to the pile because it's been documented enough. The number of lies and the amount of bullshit Hogan has made up about himself over the years, it ranges from mildly amusing to more shit than a septic tank. Terry Bollea is a warning sign of what happens when too much fame goes to someone's head and they think they're invincible. And when they're used to bullshitting their way out of situations, they seem to think they can do it in every situation. That promo he came out and cut encapsulates the arrogance and narcissism of Hulk Hogan. He comes out, the routine he does gets booed. He tries to resort to a cheap pop by sucking up to the fans. When that didn't work, he tried to do the whole, I'm friends with these guys you like, that makes me cool, right? But that didn't work. And then he just threw out the catchphrases and buggered off backstage, while the crowd made it clear that there is no more nostalgia pop to be mined out of Hulk Hogan. That is the most negative reaction I think I've ever heard Hulk Hogan get, and I've been watching the man since 1997. You can't trot Hogan out there anymore and expect him to get a positive reaction because the world's woken up to what a complete cunt the man himself is. He's not a good human being by any measure. It's got bugger all to do with politics and everything to do with the fact that the man behind the gimmick is as rotten could be. And wrestling fans have all cordoned onto it And there's no fixing that bridge. Hulk got booed, and it was wonderful to see and wonderful to hear as someone who has grown up hearing the stories about what an absolute maggot the man is. Karma's a beautiful thing, and it's finally hitting Terrible Terry right where it hurts. The ego. I'm Damian Skyfire. Till next time.